Hello, I'm Ashley and welcome to my space here. This is going to be the extended reading for my Tarot Tuesday weekly guidance and energy update. This is intended for the week of May 18th through the 26th. But if you come across this at any time, know that this message is for you, that the timing does not matter. So it's just intended for that week, but if you come across it later, if you're here from reading the blog, then thank you for reading. And if not, if you just randomly found this, then welcome, and know that you're here for a reason. So it's important to remember that your intuition and your guidance is top priority above all else, above all the messages that I'm giving to you. So remember that this is a collective reading. Gender does not apply here. I always like to mention that here. So I use like he and she for masculine and feminine energy purposes, but gender does not apply here. So that's really important to remember. And yeah, like I said, this is going to be the extended reading. So if you read the blog and you're here, you'll see that the messages, or through Instagram, however you found this video, the messages for this week are the Ace of Swords and Truth Be Told. And I could not believe that owls showed up on both these cards, which is awesome. This is a new tarot deck that I got. So I normally always use the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot on this channel, but I was gifted, I won a giveaway. So shout out to Onyx Healing. If you follow her you can follow her on Instagram. She also has like podcasts. That's what I love. You can find her on Spotify. I'll leave her information below. I've mentioned her on my channel before, but she's awesome. So anyway, I won these cards from her, so shout out to her for that. But then I'm using also Wisdom of the Oracle to clarify. So like I said, I could not believe the spirit of the owls showed up twice. So hello, owls. We see you clear as day, which is another message that I got here, because what I'm picking up on right away is clarity, which I also want to mention because I also won from my giveaway, is this candle here that's burning, and it's tight, like the name of the candle is called Clarity. In Onyx Healing, she made this candle herself, and it represents like alignment, resolution, and answers. And that's totally what I'm feeling with these cards right away, is clarity and answers. And if you may have some kind of like confusion, or just things are gray or dark in your life and you're searching for clarity, it's like this week it will come to you. And I'm picking up more through like your intuition, because the owls to me represent intuition and deeply connecting to your intuition, trusting your intuition above all else. They represent like seeing things from a higher perspective. They just really, come into our life to help us, to guide us, to really listen to like the nudges of our soul, rather than like just dismissing them, and to really tap into our divine intelligence. Because I love that the swords represent the mind, but I love that there's an owl here, because as much as, we rely on our mind to kind of lead us, it doesn't always lead us in the direction of our soul, so into our highest good. It leads us to what is familiar. So our mind, it's created from ages 0 to 6. Our ego mind is created from ages 0 to 6, and we're more likely to follow the voices of our ego, of our past wounding, of our past pain, over the divine intelligence of our intuition. So I've mentioned this before, but there's a part of our brain when both hemispheres of our brain, the left and the right, are balanced, then we're able to access our divine mind. And because like our ego mind is the mind that keeps us safe. The ego was designed to keep us out of danger, to keep us out of harm. But a lot of, whereas back in the day, we were fighting for our lives and maybe being attacked by animals, in our homes, or in our shelters, or we didn't even have shelters, that's when our egos kept us safe. But now our egos, like, it's like paying rent and like our health and things like that create, like, I'm just picking up on people are going through a lot of like stresses or challenging times that are keeping them really in the dark, and they're not seeing the path. Like the future looks really bleak, they have no hope for the future, and this is like really coming to show us that like, the truth. Like the truth can be told when we really tap into our intuition, when we tap into our divine mind, rather than relying on the past to give it. Because the ego, I'm picking up a lot of people being deceived, or not even being deceived by other people, but you're lying to yourself about what you're truly feeling. Because we have hearts flying out of this window here, and I love that the Truth Be Told came upright, because it just shows us that like we're ready to speak our truth, we're ready to hear the truth. And this was also mentioned in the blog post. So if you haven't checked out the blog post, I'll leave the link below so you can go ahead and check that out. There might be more guidance for you in there as well. So like I said, this is just the extended reading. I'll get more into what we're not seeing clearly, and then the advice for the week. So I'm just kind of giving an overview here of the Ace of Swords and the Truth Be Told. So for me, I'm just picking up on this energy of like really being honest with ourselves and really getting clear about what it is that we desire. Because a lot of people, we're like constantly running from the truth. We're constantly running from our feelings. We're living strictly based off habit or survival, and we're not following our intuition. We're not following our hearts because following our hearts is unfamiliar, and our mind does not care about our hearts. So you have to really get your mind to align with your heart, rather than trying to force your like heart to align with your mind to, like, I want to keep this job because it's really like, it's really safe, and I want to stay in this relationship because I already know this person. Even if I don't like this person, even this person treats me terribly, I want to stay here because, this is the ego, because I want to stay here because I know what to expect. I know what to predict, But if I step into the unknown, then I have to really rely on my intuition. I have to really rely on my senses, and that's scary. That's unknown. I don't want to do that. I have to rely on my heart. And my heart, maybe we've been taught that our heart is untrustworthy. Maybe we've been betrayed by people in the past, and so we no longer trust our heart. But what happens is, and the reason we attract people that betray us or that lie to us, and you might be dealing with this as well, if you're around people that are lying straight to your face or not being honest with you, you have to use them as a mirror and say, where am I not being honest with myself? Where am I lying to myself? Where am I hiding from myself? Where am I denying my truth? And really not taking what they're doing, if they're lying to you, if they're manipulating to you, if they're doing that to you, not taking it personally, but seeing it as a defense mechanism and having compassion and understanding. That's kind of what I'm picking up with the Ace of Swords. It's like this understanding, there's no longer this need to react from your pain. There's no longer this need to react from this hurt, but really there's this idea of like, oh, I see this person, is lying to me because they can't be honest with themselves, and seeing them from the eyes of a loving child, from God. Because God teaches us how to love everyone, despite their flaws, despite their darkness, despite the things they've done in the past, to see them always from fresh eyes. And that's kind of what, the Ace of Swords is kind of representing to me here. And this is also a 5 card, so 14 or 5 could be a synchronicity for you. 5 also is a number of like change or chaos, and it feels like there's a lot of chaos and a lot of conflict, and that through this conflict, through this chaos, truth will be found, clarity will be found, and it really forces us to go within. And that's kind of the message I'm getting this week, is to go within, to find this, to rely on this inner guidance, to rely on your heart to lead you, rather than looking to the outside to gratify your ego, or looking to the outside to give you those answers. So that this is like your deep knowing that you know the truth. You already have the answers. You already have the clarity. Your mind is like, we'll just try to come in and try to confuse the heck out of you. And that's kind of what I'm picking up. The overall message is that you have the clarity and you have the truth, and deep down inside you know the truth and you feel it so deep down inside you. But your mind is trying to confuse you. So this is where we really just learn, and we had discernment come up last week. We really discern between what is truth and what is, ego and wounding. And truth will always feel like love. It will feel like supportive. It will feel like a loving friend, Truth will comfort us. I mean, it might make us really upset. It might make us like, it will only ever make the ego upset. It will only ever make the ego throw a tantrum, because, that saying, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off, And so we might have to deal with anger. We might have to deal with those dark, heavy emotions that come with honesty. Not only honesty with ourselves, or maybe somebody else is being honest with us, and really to, get more clear about, okay, where do I need to be more honest with myself, so that, one, I can attract more people that are going to be honest to me, because that's what I'm picking up on, like connections. And there's just like this energy of like dishonesty and not being, there's just some shady stuff. So it's like the owls really help us to see beyond the facade, to help us see beyond people's lies, to see beyond the mask. And you see on this card, there's even a mask right here. So look beyond the surface this week and really, dig deeper. A lot of us are so shallow in this day and age, and in this culture, in this society. We always, we look to people's first impressions to give us the truth, but really what we have to do is tap into our intuition, because our intuition is our energy body, and our energy body can pick up on subtle energies. If we can tell when people are lying to us, and our gut instincts will tell us that, but we have to trust our gut instincts. We have to trust our intuition that is saying, hey, this is not truth, and like really getting clear, because this is clarity, getting clear about what is truth for you and what is not. And really seeing beyond the surface is kind of this week is the message. See beyond the surface, kind of cut through the BS. That's like the Ace of Swords is like, and the Ace of Swords is like a gift from Spirit. Like Spirit is saying, we're giving you clarity, we're giving you the answers. All you have to do is receive them. All you have to do is be an open channel. And you see even here, this owl is like opening its heart, and all these hearts are flying out. So if you can open your heart, and the swords, they really represent our mind. If you can open your heart and you can open your mind, and that's one of the biggest things I ask for you when you come to this channel too, is to be open-minded, to be open-hearted. And when we can do that, then we can retrieve this clarity. We can retrieve the knowledge, because this isn't just like thought. This is like divine knowledge and receiving divine inspiration. So I'm also picking up on claircognizance. It might be one of your spiritual gifts. It's where you just know something and it just comes to you really clearly. This could also be like you find inspiration or an idea from reading a book or from studying or doing some kind of research or, educating yourself in some way. But also it's like the Akashic records and opening up to your own divine knowledge, not necessarily looking to the outside to give you the answers, but really relying on your own intuition to provide you with everything that you need. Okay, so I really like that there. And I really do like these cards. So I'm going to be using, this is the Affirmators Tarot, to get what is going on behind the scenes that we are not seeing clearly. Spirit, what are we not seeing clearly right now? Okay, too many came out, too many flipped over there. So, all right, what do we need to know that we're not, what are we not seeing clearly, Spirit? What's going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing clearly? Okay, I like this. Ace of Pentacles. So this is saying that, and we had another ace. That's so crazy. So Ace of Pentacles tells us that there's a new beginning. Like this is in the physical world. So this is a new opportunity. Spirit is giving you the gift of, and this could represent like finances. This could represent home. This could represent health because it's the pentacle. So think the physical world. This could be like a job opportunity. This could be a relationship opportunity. This could be just an opportunity to start something new. It's the Ace of Pentacles, so feeling very like, I like that it's like, I think it's supposed to be maybe an alligator. I'm not really sure what this animal is here. But I love all the green on the card, so this is like really saying to me like to really get in tune to nature. It's like the physical, so like even Mother Nature, like getting really in tune to your physical body. How are you feeling? Taking care of your physical health. I'm getting a lot of people are dealing with health-related issues this week. So keep that in mind. This could be like heart chakra issues because you see he's holding the heart here and we have all this green. So I'm picking up on the heart chakra. So even though this isn't like the Ace of Cups, which represents like love, I'm also getting this opportunity to a grounded new beginning. So like this, it's very stable. This is a very stable beginning. So it's funny because what's going on behind the scenes is that even if there's like chaos or there's uncertainty, that there is this opportunity for something new to begin. This is like new growth. This is like this is like the gift of a new seed, a new beginning, and a new beginning in the physical world. So even on a global scale, if you look at it from there, like even through this destruction, even through this chaos, especially with the pandemic, that we're being given an opportunity to go to start something new, to begin something new. And this, I'm really just picking up to like, to be more connected to the earth. And when we connect more deeply to the earth, that's actually when we begin to develop our intuition, because we feel really grounded. And it's like feeling stable. A lot of us don't feel, there's like, especially with the pandemic and a lot of things changing, there's this energy of instability I feel in the collective, where it's like everything is uncertain. We don't know where everything is headed. But here, this Ace of Pentacles is saying like things are headed in the direction that is going to bring you a lot of abundance. The Ace of Pentacles to me is screaming abundance, like bountiful harvest. Like you are going to receive blessings in the physical world. Even if you can't see them yet, they are here. But what you really have to do is stay present and connected to the present moment. And that's what nature really helps us to do. It helps us to find that inner stillness, to help us to find that inner strength, that inner stability, that inner calm, that inner comforting. It's like our inner mother. Think of Mother Earth. So really developing that strong connection that helps you feel supported here on Earth. And it's that deep connection with the earth that gives us that sense of, stability and strength and prosperity and abundance. And from there we create this abundance. This is our foundation, and so when we're building from a foundation that's really strong and really stable, then we're gonna, we can build higher. Whereas if we're building from false lies or from the mind can crumble. And for people that are awakening spiritually, which I feel there's a massive spiritual awakening happening, your ego, it will crumble. So it's illusions crumbling. We had a full moon right here on this owl card, so that's why I was picking up on illusions and like seeing through the illusion. And so when our egos begin to crumble, we see through the illusion, and we see that everything on this earth is like temporary, but our connection to it is, eternal. So when we connect to that part of us, we feel this sense of like humbleness, where we feel really small, but we also see like how valuable we are, how valuable our energy is here on this earth, and like we're meant to be here for a reason. So I just feel like it's this energy of finding this stability within ourselves and really operating from this place of security within ourselves. And when we operate and when we take action, when we speak from this sense of stability, when we act from this sense of stability, then we create a strong foundation, not just outside of us, but that's great too. If we can build a very strong empire on the outside, that's great. But it's really about finding and building that inner strength, that inner stability that allows for us to move through challenging times with a lot more ease, with a lot more compassion, with a lot more grace, rather than like giving into our ego thoughts and like constantly worrying about the worst case scenario, or relying on our addictions to help us get through these challenging times. And I'm picking up on this card, it's like nurture yourself. I'm picking up on Mother Mary with all the green, and Archangel Raphael. So you might be called to work with him, or call upon his guidance, or to eat green foods, or to incorporate more green into your life. I'm seeing somebody needs to walk on the grass barefoot, so that might be helpful for you. Or getting out in nature in some capacity, planting a garden, like having plants in your house, working with essential oils, using things crystals. I have some crystals here, like working with crystals, especially green crystals, to help you stay connected to earth. And there's just a lot of different things you can do to help you feel very stable during this time. Because what I'm picking up on, like I said, is like there's this feeling of instability, but what we're really learning how to do is rebuild our foundation from faith and love and peace, rather than from like ego. And like our Saturn is in retrograde, so this is where it's like hierarchy, like societal beliefs begin to crumble, and we no longer can rely on the old, and we have to rebuild the new. And that's what Ace of Pentacles is saying here. We're giving you the brick. Here's your first one, and then what are we going to build from there? So what can we build internally? And this is like, how can we build more peace inside of ourselves? How can we build more faith inside of ourselves? How can we build more love inside of ourselves? And then when we build that within ourselves, we take those steps externally in the external world that reflect how we are feeling stable within ourselves. So a lot of us don't feel stable. We might have jobs that feel unstable right now, or we might have, finances that seem unstable right now, or relationships that seem unstable right now. And if these things are falling apart, you're being blessed with the opportunity to have something new come into your life. But you cannot have something new if you're constantly clinging to the old. If you will not let the old go, how do you expect to receive the new? So if somebody's constantly in our life, if our job is weighing us down, if our relationship is weighing us down, whatever it is, if it's weighing you down, if it's not serving you, then you're not going to receive this gift of the new while you're still holding on to the old. You got to let go so that you can receive the new. That's what I'm picking up there. So that was kind of a strong message coming in through that one little card, which I love. Okay, so what do we need to know with the Ace of Pentacles here, Spirit? Or what are we not seeing clearly with the Ace of Pentacles, I should say? Okay, what are we not seeing clearly with the Ace of Pentacles? Oh, I like it. Come to the edge. Yes, this is like saying take a leap of faith. Trust in the unknown. This is also a 9 card, so like I was saying, like ending. So if something in your life is ending, it's so that something new can begin. So be like excited, whereas like our mind might want to go to like those thoughts like, oh no, it's never going to work out the way I want, or it goes to those past scenarios like, oh, I was hurt and during this time, or that didn't work out, and so I'm not going to do it. But this is saying to really trust your intuition and to really take that leap of faith. And I love that there's hearts flying out of the window here on this card, and it's also here on this card. You see those hearts flying, so it's like follow your heart, take a leap of faith, and trust that your heart is guiding you in the right direction. You may feel like you're literally jumping off this cliff into the unknown, like you're gonna fall, but it's like you have the wings to fly. It's time for you to fly now. And you can trust that your heart will keep you, flying. That will, as long as you rely on that to guide you, then it will keep you from crashing to the ground. You're not going to crash to the ground. And even if you do, you're able to move through it with, a lot more compassion, a lot more grace. And you're like, oh, when you begin to follow your heart, you see every like mistake or failure as an opportunity to go in a new direction. So it's never something that's permanent. It's always just an opportunity. Failure and mistakes are always an opportunity. So don't let them hold you back. Allow them to let you keep, this is about taking risks. This is like, okay, so following our hearts may seem risky. Listening to our inner child and following our joy, following our bliss is going to seem terrifying. We're not going to trust that, like, to listen to our childlike self and allow that to guide us seems like, unfamiliar, because we don't trust children, right? We don't trust them, like, obviously, some of us do, of course, but like we wouldn't allow them to make the decisions. But if we actually listened to that part of us that wanted us to follow our joy, then we would be led to more joyous opportunities. We would allow more joy into our lives. But a lot of us are taught to that joy is not important, that your happiness, that your health is not a priority, and so to put that on the back burner. But come to the edge here saying, no, put those things first, put yourself first, put your joy first, follow your joy, follow love, listen to love, and that will guide you to opportunities that are more loving and more joyous and more healthy for you. So, and that's what I was picking up here with this Ace of Pentacles here, is like health. So like I was saying, I feel like there's a lot of people that are struggling with their health, and this is giving us the opportunity to go in a new direction. When we follow our hearts, guys, we literally heal ourselves. Like, I'm picking up on Archangel Raphael so strongly. He's here to help so many people with their health and their heart chakra. Because what happens is every health issue that we have in our body stems from an emotional or energetic root. So getting to the energetic part, which is our chakra. So I'm picking up strongly here on the heart chakra. When our heart chakra is closed off, we create a lot of disease in our bodies. We create so much. Okay, so what happens is we cut these things off. We cut our hearts off, and then what we do is we rely on addictions. And this isn't just addictions to substances. This is addictions to emotions or people. We rely on people, or we rely on substances to bring us love and happiness and joy, because this is our heart chakra, right? This is where we experience love, joy, harmony, peace, expansion. This is where we feel all those things. So if we cut this part of us off because we've been hurt by love, or we were taught at a really young age that love is chaos or love is pain, and so we shut off our heart chakras at a very young age, this creates a lot of buildup, and we can feel a lot of anger here when our heart chakra is cut off. We can feel a lot of frustration. We can just feel a lot of sadness, a lot of depression, and so a lot of us might be suffering from mental health this week, or just you might feel pains in your heart chakra, or I'm picking up on anxiety, which is causing a lot of heaviness, like I'm seeing an image of somebody sitting on somebody's chest, so you might feel like there's a lot of pressure on your chest this week. And this is actually teaching us how to come back to our heart space and how to breathe through the discomfort that our mind is creating scenarios in our head that are making us feel very anxious. And so really learning how to tend to our thoughts, which is like Ace of Swords, and really creating this clarity that when we connect to our hearts, when we heal our hearts, we heal our minds, and our minds begin to expand, and our minds begin to feel so much clearer, because we're no longer harboring all this resentment and this anger and this pain and this trauma in our heart centers, and we're like letting it go. We're healing it. When we heal it, we heal diseases in our body. We create this light within ourselves. Like, our heart can expand up to 3 meters wide, and when we begin to open our heart centers, it acts as a natural healer. It's like our heart is so healing, and when we cut it off, we create a lot of disease. This could like create heart disease. This could create like lung disease or lung cancer, or any anything that's associated like with the lungs or the heart. That could be like our heart chakra, and this could cause a lot of distress in our bodies. When our heart chakra is cut off, we feel a lot of distress and chaos in our bodies, because the heart acts as our coolant. It acts as our, it gives contrast to our heaviness of our thoughts, the heaviness of our emotions, and our heart acts as like this buoyant, it's like a buoy. I'm seeing a buoy. It acts as, and you know how, okay, so think of an ocean, and a lot of people might be feeling a lot of waves, and there might be a lot of storms, like you might be feeling a lot of emotions, and the buoy, our heart chakra, when it's healed and it's open, it acts as like that floating mechanism that keeps us above water, and we're no longer like drowning from our emotions, and we're no longer drowning from our thoughts, but we're floating, and we're moving with the current. We're moving because we're feeling a lot more lighter. When our heart chakra is closed off, we feel really heavy. We feel really like I said, you just feel very tied down. You feel very trapped and bound in so many ways. But when our heart chakra is open, we feel this expansiveness that allows for more spaciousness. It allows for us to receive our blessings. So if our heart is closed off, how can we receive love? How can we receive peace? We can't. How can we receive joy? We can't, because we can't. Our heart chakra is so, closed off that it cannot open in order to receive those things. So if we want more love in our life, if we want more peace, if we want more joy in our life, then we have to really cultivate and work on opening our own hearts again, because a lot of us are so closed off. And with all the uncertainty that's happening in the world, this can make us want to create. And I think of like our our pandemic and the issue with the being 6 feet apart from each other. That to me speaks of collectively, on an energetic level, our fears of intimacy, our fears of connection and connecting with our hearts, connecting with other people. It doesn't even have to be romantic. It can be platonic, and really seeing ourselves in other people, and really using other people as as a way to grow, as a way to see ourselves more clearly, and to stop abandoning our hearts and running away from our hearts. This is saying, no, you can trust your heart. Take a leap of faith and trust that if you follow your heart, you will create this new opportunity. You will create a new life for yourself. This could be a new life. This could be like a complete change in direction of your life. So when you really begin to follow your life, you can alter the direction of your path. And choosing love in every moment. It's not just like, oh, you're going to choose this one time to follow your heart and the rest is going to fall into place. No, you have to continue to commit to listening to the guidance of your heart and following that guidance over listening to the guidance of your mind that's going to put you down or going to tell you to stay in familiar situations, even if they're painful or toxic. Like if you're in a relationship and it's painful or toxic, your mind is going to want to stay there rather than, be in something healthy, because health is not familiar to you. So how can you got to focus on wellness and health this week, and that's what we're not seeing clearly. It's like, as you begin to put your focus on your health and on your wellness and on your happiness and on your joy, and you take a leap of faith and you do the things that bring you joy, that make you feel love, that make you feel at peace. If you do those things and you act from that place, because the Pentacles is about the physical world, so if you act from that place, then you're going to move in the direction that brings you this new beginning in the physical world, whether it be with a relationship, a new job, maybe it could be both, whatever this new beginning looks like for you. You can trust it. But really, I am picking up on a huge message to cultivate health, to focus on healing your heart. Because you even see he has a heart at his heart, so I'm just picking up strongly there. And all the green, dang. I was kind of picking up on this card too with Archangel Chamuel, and he helps us to really stand in our power. He's an angel that helps you with your empowerment and your confidence. And like, this is like, okay, so have thoughts of like, I am empowered. Too many of us lie to ourselves and say, I'm weak, I'm a loser, I'm not strong enough, I can't. And those are such limiting beliefs that keep us from standing in our power. And then we give our power away to people all the time. And this is saying to me, like, the truth is that you are powerful. You are powerful beyond measure. You are so strong. You are so worthy. You are so valuable. And we tell ourselves lies all the time that we're not worthy of receiving love, that we're not worthy of following our hearts, that we're not worthy of receiving this love and this abundance and this health. Like, so many of us are so addicted to being in pain and so addicted to unhealthy, to feeling toxic, that we believe that's normal, that it's normal to feel pain all the time, that it's normal to feel hurt all the time, that it's normal to abandon your heart over and over again in order to receive love, and a lot of us are in relationships where we have to abandon ourselves, where we have to walk around on eggshells, or we can't be honest, or we can't be truthful about what we're feeling because it's going to upset the other person, or like the other person isn't going to understand. And it's like, this is where you need to take care of you. And that's what I was kind of picking up on this week, is like, really take care of you. Focus on your health, mental health, physical health, energetic health, mental health, like focusing on those things. And as you do that, and as you take, because what a lot of us, I'm picking up on, is like, okay, a lot of us have been taught to abandon ourselves and to put other people's needs first. Like, I have to put my partner's needs first, otherwise he won't love me, And it's like, what we are learning to do is how to put ourselves first and take care of ourselves first as a way to be a better provider and to be more stable within ourselves, so that we can create this stability for our partner, so we can create this stability for our children and for our friends. But we can't do that if we don't feel stable within ourselves. So this is saying a lot of people don't feel safe to put themselves first. And so this is saying, Spirit is saying, no, take a leap of faith and trust that if you put yourself first, that you'll receive this love. You may be so used to sacrificing and abandoning your needs and abandoning what makes you happy and what makes you feel good in order to, keep a relationship or keep a job, that it's really cutting off your heart chakra. And Spirit is saying, no, we're giving you this opportunity right now, through this chaos or through this turmoil, through this change, to put yourself first for once in your life. And I know for a fact, guys, I am like the biggest people pleaser on planet Earth. Like, people pleasing, I was taught to sacrifice myself. I was taught to abandon myself in order to receive love, to abandon my needs, to put everybody's needs above mine first, and to neglect myself. And this kept my heart chakra closed off. I was so unhealthy. I was over 300 pounds. I was suffering from mental health. I was taking anxiety medication. I was taking depression medication. I was very unhealthy because I was abandoning myself, because I was neglecting myself. And really, it was so unfamiliar to start putting myself first. I felt like I was abandoning my family. I felt like I was abandoning, I felt like I was betraying them, because where I was taught to put them before myself, I was now putting myself first, and it felt really scary. So it's going to be scary to put yourself first, I promise you, especially if you're not used to it. So it's really important to learn how to trust your heart and to really place those boundaries and not allow people to tell you that you're being selfish or what you're doing to take care of your mental health. If you're not hanging out with certain people anymore because they're not good for your mental health, or because they're not good for your physical health, or they're not good for your energetic health, or they're not good for your emotional health, if people are emotionally manipulative to you, or if people are, lying to you, or they're abusing you or using you in any certain way, if you begin to place boundaries and you say, I don't want to hang out with you anymore, or I won't allow you to treat me like this anymore, or we're not going to be friends anymore, or I'm not going to talk to you anymore, people are going to react harshly to that because you've never stood up for yourself. You've always put them before yourself. And so that's going to trigger them, and you have to learn to not take it personally, to not take the reactions to you placing a boundary for your own sanity, for your own health. You have to not take it personally, but see, okay, this person, is using me to make themselves feel better. And so my presence not being there anymore is really taking a toll on their own self-worth, and it's bringing up insecurities within them, and they're going to project it onto me. And so what I have to do is not see that their own insecurities are mine, and not take it on. That's when we begin to take on people's emotional burdens, and we begin to feel very heavy. And this is emotional burdens. Your heart chakra can get closed off when you're, so worried about what other people, if you do something and somebody gets really sad or somebody gets really angry, and so you don't say it or you don't take the action step because you don't want to make them uncomfortable, you don't want to piss them off, you don't want to make them sad, and so you betray your heart, you don't speak your truth, or you don't place your boundary, or you don't take action because you're afraid of how this other person might react to you emotionally. And so you take on their emotional burden, and then you abandon yourself, and you feel very disconnected, you feel trapped and you feel like a martyr. It's that martyr mentality. It's like, well, I'm going to sacrifice what I feel in order to make this person more comfortable. And then that just makes you feel, you just don't feel in your power. You're not in your power. You completely gave your power away. Anyway, okay, so that's what we're not seeing clear. Lots of messages coming through this week. So take what resonates, remember, and leave the rest. So if some of this may resonate for you, the whole thing may resonate for you. Just be discerning. Okay, lastly, Spirit, what is your advice for us this week? What is your advice for us this week? Oh goodness, this has been coming up a lot. 4 of Pentacles. This came up for the advice last week. How bizarre. Okay, 4 of Pentacles. I love the hippo here. This is, and you even see, this is like a card of hoarding. This is holding on to the past. This is exactly what came up last week. So repetitive messages here. So holding on to the past too tightly, This is like another card of like being obsessed with your image, being obsessed with status, like obsessed with how people see you and perceive you. That's what I'm picking up on. And I was just talking about that, how we give our power away and how we don't want to upset people by speaking our truth or by placing a boundary or standing up for ourselves. This is kind of like that. We want people to see us in a certain light. So we'll abandon ourselves in order for people to see us as this good person who, does everything for us. While secretly inside we're like, no, we're feeling resentful, we're feeling angry, we're feeling like, because traditionally in the traditional tarot deck, there's a man holding, his heart chakra is closed off. He's like got his arms around and he's holding a pentacle right across his heart. And to me, that's saying that money, the outside, the physical world is more important than how I feel. And that's what we are really learning how to let go of with this paradigm shift, is to really allow our hearts to lead us rather than like status or image or how other people perceive us, or having lots of things in the physical world as a way to make other people see us as valuable or as worthy. And it's just like we have to find that worth within ourselves. We have to nurture that worth within ourselves. It does not come from your paycheck. It does not come from your title or your position or your relationship status. It does not come from that. Your worth does not come from that. So a lot of people, like, they fear being single because they think that their worth is determined by their relationship status. And that's just, we got to let those things go, and we got to stop holding on to this idea that, the outside determines our worth, that like the amount of money we have, or the kind of job we have, or the kind of car we drive, or the kind of house we live in, or the kind of clothes we wear determines our value. And so many people want to be seen as valuable and worthy and as stable, but deep inside they're abandoning themselves and they're not even following their hearts. They're not being true to their hearts. And that's kind of the message I'm picking up there on, once again, is to really like to share. Do you see that he's hoarding all this? And that's kind of what the Four of Pentacles represents. It's like hoarding and not sharing. You see these birds, maybe they want some food. Just imagine this as like food, and this hippo here is like, no, these are all mine. Even though there's 4 of them, he could take one and give 1, 2, 3, but he's holding them all for himself. And this is kind of what we're learning at a higher level collectively, is to really let go of our obsession with consumption. And this is a card of consumption to me. Like, you're consuming, and you're never giving. And like, why? Because our hearts are closed off. And like I said, traditionally in this card, your hearts are closed off. I'm picking up, I hear the word and I see the word generosity. It's like blinking to me in neon green. Generosity, sharing, giving and receiving. That's what we're learning how to do, is to give and receive love. And how to give from our heart space, to be more generous rather than holding on to, this could be like needing to be more giving, like needing to be more loving in your life, needing to be more balanced in your life, because it's a 4 of Pentacles, so like feeling more stable. But yeah, this is just like a card of like really closing off the heart. I love that this is more green, so more green coming through with Archangel Raphael there. But I can't believe it showed up twice there with 2 different tarot decks the last 2 weeks. So like really, yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep that there actually, because the advice with this 4 of Pentacles here is deep knowing, which is number 7 or 43. And we have another full moon here on this card, and another owl. How awesome. So the owls come in 3 times this week. And this is just saying that you know the truth. Like, deep inside of you, you have all the answers. Deep inside of you, you know what to do next, or what the next step is. You know what's true in your heart. And this is saying like, stop running away from your heart, kind of like stop focusing more on how people perceive you, and be more aligned and more truthful to what you know deep down inside. And this is like, that you're worthy. That deep down inside you are worthy. Let's read this one actually. And then I am going to do one more from the Chakra Insights, like I always do to end it. But yeah, I feel the need to read this one for some reason. 43. Intuition, listening to the oracle within, empathy, hypersensitivity. Intuition is the faculty that allows you to enter into a dialogue with Source, the consciousness that you are a part of but cannot see with the naked eye. That's totally it. It's like, instead of like, this is like living for what only people can see on the outside and not living according to your intuition, to the thing that's invisible to the naked eye. It's perplexing that people are taught to ignore this natural capacity to navigate their journeys, to access their inner guidance. Know that you have an ability to read between the lines and find all the truth that was missing when the story was told. This deep knowing allows you to open the door to wisdom far greater than what is available in the limitations of human experience. Amen. You're given information that may make no sense whatsoever to the logical mind or five senses, but which is 100% correct and true. The trick is to listen and then to act accordingly. You're now invited into this sacred dialogue of deep knowing, so tune in and trust your vibes. They will be right. Ask and you will receive answers from unusual sources. So, like, instead of being so obsessed with, like, your answers coming from, the outside, this is saying, no, your answers are going to come from deep within, so listen to your intuition. I think that's pretty much the entire message of this reading, is to listen to your intuition above all else. Okay, one final message here. Let's see what comes through. All right, Spirit. What's the overall message for us this week? Okay, I love it. Root chakra coming in strong with Archangel Michael. Just flew right out. I love this because I was talking about stability and finding this, and like, this is like where we operate from survival. This is our survival chakra. So instead of and this is where we store scarcity. This is our fear. This is our lack. This is our health, guys. This is our health, our finances. Like, yeah. Oh man. Okay, so number 1, it says material world, physical vitality, survival, instinct, security, grounding, stability, action, perseverance, and foundation. From the depths of earthly fire and the primal energy of life itself emerges our first chakra, the root center of our being. 4 linking lotus petals form a perfect circle containing within it a square, the balanced symbol of earth. Within the square, an inverted triangle traditionally encloses the Kundalini snake, our dormant spiritual potential waiting to be awakened. The base chakra calls us to ignite this potential to bring us our spiritual journey upwards, so this energy may be reunited with the source from which it originated. It is also through this chakra that we draw down and anchor the energies of heaven here in physical form. Card message. Located at the base of our spine, the base chakra is our primal energy center. This chakra governs the basic survival needs, also known as the tribal chakra. It carries the qualities of our ancestors, culture, and our innate connection with the earth. It encourages us to build structure and the foundation in our life, to provide us with a sense of security, safety, and stability. And I was totally feeling this with the Ace of Pentacles here, and feeling very stable within and connected to the earth. Within the realms of the first chakra, Mother Earth is our best teacher. It is time to step both feet out into the soil of life and feel yourself rooted to the earth like a great tree. Remember how I was saying I'm seeing someone needs to get out and put their feet on the tree, or put their feet on the grass? Breathe and absorb the power of this primal energy into your body. Watch, sense, and feel how nature works and align yourself with this wisdom. Remember to be practical and present in life. Tend to your home, your physical needs, and your earthly responsibilities. Many people on the spiritual path have a tendency to feel drawn towards the more ethereal powers of the higher chakras. But if we are not balanced here in the base chakra, these ethereal experiences are not able to be accessed and utilized in our life in a productive way. The potential of growth and transformation of our being can only occur if we integrate this higher realm's wisdom with our physical life here on earth. The ability to live a spiritual life whilst being fully present here in excuse the dog barking in the background. The ability to live in spiritual life whilst being fully present here in earthly reality is the essence of this chakra. This card calls for you to channel your inspired thoughts and ideas, which is Ace of Swords here, into practical, grounded action within your life. It encourages you to persevere with action to bring about health, vitality, and a general sense of aliveness and connectedness with the earth. Ace of Pentacles here. This will strengthen the power of your base chakra, and you will find that with a solid foundation and a sense of health and vitality, your life will flourish, transform, and evolve. It will naturally change and flow like natural and her and flow like nature and her cycles of the season. Affirmations: I am grounded, safe, and secure. I am connected to all of life. My physical needs are abundantly met. The earth supports me. I feel like that was the perfect message, and I ended it at 4444. And that's always the Archangel Michael number for me, or like the energy of stability and finding, feeling that, which is also here, the 4, like feeling that stability. Because this could also be about like creating stability in the physical world, but it doesn't come from following the outside or following what everybody else is telling you or following the crowd. It comes from, following your intuition. That's where our stability comes from. And we think, because we can't see it with the naked eye, that it's not stable. But actually, the more we rely and the more we connect to this spiritual connection with ourselves and with the earth and with all that is, the more stable we begin to feel on the inside. And then as we do that, it reflects on the outside in our jobs, in our finances, in our relationships, in our friendships, whatever it is. So in our health. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope it was healing for you. I do private readings, so I'll leave the information below if you'd like to book one with me. And I will be back next week. I'm sending you so much love. Take care.